Hey, I'm Billy Watkins with MidSeason. We're here today to do another segment of Beyond the Score. We're at Madison Central High School, and we're going to talk to legendary coach Mike Justice. Stay tuned.
Got dents? Get Dallas. Dallas Auto Painting and Collision Repair. Don't take a chance on imperfection. Call us today. We're at 743 Ridgewood Road, Ridgeland.
Coach Justice, we really appreciate you doing this at MidSeason. We're honored to have you.
Well, thank you.
I'm just looking at my stats here for you. 297 wins, 75% winning percentage.
Okay.
21 district championships, 3 state championships, 20 district coaches of the year, 3 metro coaches of the year, 2 state coaches of the year, 2 athletic directors of the year, 1 Southeastern United States Coach of the Year. You've been chairman of the MAC, or the president of the MAC, yeah. Mississippi Association of Coaches. You're on the board of the MHSAA. What hadn't you done?
Well, I tell people all the time, these younger guys, it's the longevity. If you stay long enough, you do lots of things. But I was 35 years in it, and I always wanted to be on the front end of things, and I worked toward that. I liked being on the front end, and so that led to positions that other people really didn't want or didn't know was there, didn't care about. I did.
And you didn't spend a lot of time as an assistant coach. In fact, you didn't spend any time as an assistant coach.
No, I came out of the blocks running.
At Caledonia?
Yeah. I got that by default, Billy. I'll have to tell you the story quickly. I was going to be the assistant and the head coach coming from Georgia. Got married that year, 1976, 77. Got married and got me and Barbara moved down there to Caledonia. And I'm getting things ready. August rolls around, he's not there. I asked the principal, I don't remember his name. Where's Coach? Well, he's coming now. He's retired over in Georgia. He's on his way. Friday, before we started football Monday practice in August, principal called me and said, he ain't coming. You the coach. So I got my first job strictly because it just happened to be there.
Timing's everything.
Timing's everything.
What went through your mind when you heard that?
I was ready. I wanted it. I wanted to do it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I didn't have drills. I just went back to when I was in high school. I'd played for a guy named Ben Jones, who's a Hall of Fame coach and a great one, and just did a lot of things he did as far as warming up and getting drills ready, but I didn't know what was going on really.
That's awesome.
Strike them on defense and move the ball.
I've told you this before. I don't think you'd have been a very good assistant coach.
Probably not. I wasn't a position coach. That's what scared me about the college ranks or whatever was I never really coached a position. I never was the running back. I was the head coach from day one.
And that's a compliment what I meant.
And as I moved forward, I had assistants do all that. Just moved up pretty quick, right. and had more coaches, more staff, and more right. people, and just kind of got into that mood of it and just went on.
Your personality was that you wanted it to be your team and do it your way.
Yeah.
And I think most great coaches have that sort of thing.
My philosophy, I didn't mean to have it. You know, you stumble into life. You don't really know what's happening around you till it happens, and then you realize that's why it happened.
Right.
I'm responsible for the football team if I'm the head coach. You know, I'm not going to go out there and lose a ball game and throw 3 or 4 coaches on the bus or a coordinator or throw some on. Well, you know, if old coach, we wasn't in the right set, he should not have. I don't do that. That's my football team, and that's it. If we lose, I lost it. If we win, they won it, and we move on.
This field we're on right now at Madison Central, I can't imagine the memories you have when you hear.
Yeah, they're great, Billy. In all honesty, this was a duck pond. We're sitting in a pond. 1990, this was a pasture. Everything you see out here, band hall, baseball field, softball field, the road back there. This was a pasture, fenced up, and there's a pond right here. And we just had the people in charge had ideas and what they wanted to do, and I take a little credit on this. I came down here and me and Mike Kent, and we looked around everywhere, and I looked and I said, you know, if we got to dig that pond. The architects done told us that pond's got to be dug out and redone. I said, we have a bowl here. We have a stadium look. And we did. This was natural. Now, this has been fixed and cut and things done to it, but we had a natural background here. Went from right there all the way to right there, a hill. So the stadium coming in at mid-level, you know, built into a wall, with the prospects of that stadium moving right on around that corner if they ever needed to, with that same look, bolted in, half of, you know, like universities used to do. So that's what we thought on that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Madison Central was formed, the kids from East Florida was going to come here.
Yeah.
Now, that was a proud community over there.
Yes.
And you had to sort of blend those communities together and pull together and all that. And how difficult was that?
It was not easy. I'll tell anybody that. You bringing in a group of kids that didn't want to come, really, to a group of kids that didn't want to come. This was new. This was not either one of them. They both had to change their name and change their location. Both schools. Both of them were extinct. And that's not simple. That's not easy. Alumni, people had gone to both over the years. They didn't like that too well. A lot of them didn't. But it worked, and it worked for a lot of reasons. But I think number one, we came in here in football, and Billy, you've known me a long time. My style of football is down in the dirt, Jack. Just get down there in it. And it don't much matter who you are. We don't care. And they saw it quick. You want to play, dig in that dirt, and you'll play. Otherwise, you not. And when one kid's in that dirt, and this kid over here is mad because he ain't playing, you ain't got to worry about the one down in the dirt worrying about him. It don't happen. He knows who needs to be beside him on that field. He knows, and he don't think nothing about it.
The players always know, don't they?
They know. They know. You can't trick them.
Why did you take this job? What was it about it?
I turned it down. I didn't know much about Madison. I was a North Mississippi guy. I was at Louisville, and they called me. Well, we got an opening down here, and you know, it was Madison Ridgeland High School, which at the time was, Billy, they were bad. You know, they were just not very good.
Right.
And I didn't. And then they come up, some folks come up with blueprints and stuff and showed me all that stuff, and this is what we're going to do, and this is the new school, and it was kind of an intriguing situation for me. I thought, well, you know, and I was familiar with East Florida. They'd played the state championship, won one, played for another. So I felt like we'd have players, you know, at some point. Came quicker than we thought, actually.
But you had it going in Louisville.
Oh,
you could
yeah.
have stayed there.
Back-to-back state champions, 10, 12 wins a year. It was rolling. We were rolling.
You know, I came to some playoff games, and you just don't jump out there with a new school and start winning state championships immediately. It was a climb.
Yeah.
How hard was that?
It was a hard climb to go from playing. East Florida was playing 1A football, 1A. And Madison Ridgeland High School was playing 4A and couldn't even play in it. I mean, they were 1-9 the year I got here, their school. The old Madison Ridgeland had gone 1-9. They were like 3-28, 3-27. They had won none, 1, 2. So they weren't competitive in that league. And now, you're gonna go from that league to Warren Central, who won the state championship twice, 88 and 93, right in the middle of us starting. And you're gonna play Vicksburg, you're gonna play Clinton. Tough step. It's a tough step.
One of the things of starting a new school, and I went through this with my son at Ridgeland High School. You have no tradition to draw from. You have no history. You have no alums who say, "Well, I played on this field, son." You know, that sort of thing. You don't have that to draw on, like you do at Louisville.
Louisville had it.
And places like that. How hard was that to overcome?
Well, very difficult from a standpoint that we had to just build our own reputation. And we talked about that. If we get off to a bad start here, if we go out there and bomb, half the team quits, and this and over here, and we're in the press for bad stuff, then this school might not make it in athletics or in football or any athletic endeavor. There's all the same. Every sport had the same situation. I was AD, so I faced that in 21 different sports. And we knew we needed to come out strong. I've said for years, I don't care what school it is, pick one. If the band can play and the football team can play, you got a pretty good school.
Why is that, Coach?
First thing people see. School just starts. I mean, school has just kicked in. People are excited. School, there ain't nothing bad happened. You ain't even got a grade yet. You ain't take a test. And then everybody shows up for the football game. First game. And here come the band. Sun, lighting it up. They're good. Then here come football team, marching and playing and winning. Everybody's happy.
That's, you know, I've never thought about it like
Everybody's
that. That's
happy.
true.
Why
Yeah.
would you not be?
That's
Proud
right.
of your school, bragging about your team, bragging about your band. Oh man, we got the best band in the state, and ain't no doubt. Our football team gonna win it all. Done won one. So that's how they look at it, and I believe that. Strongly believe it.
99 when you won the state championship. Going into that year, did you feel like we really need to get this done?
Yeah. Felt like it. We got beaten North Half Championship. 2 before that was South Panola. And they knew it then. Just couldn't beat them. Just couldn't beat them.
That team won a few games.
Man, from the time Willis got there in 93, Willis Wright got there in 92 or 3 till now. Bad bunch of boys up there now. They'll strike you. You don't trick them. The biggest mistake people make about South Panola is say, well, they're not all that well coached. They're just so. Willis Wright, Ricky Wood, Lance Pogue, Ed Stanley. Come on, what? Not poorly coached. Come on, fella. Wake up.
The people that say that don't know much about Mississippi football.
The
do they?
mediocre coaches strongly believe they're the best coach in the state, and the rest of us got more talent. I'll take that every time.
Every time.
Yeah, I don't mind. Just keep thinking that, Bubba.
You know, I saw you play several times that year, and knew you were good. Knew you were a good team, and you had a really tough game with South Panola to get to the state championship. You lost your quarterback.
Yeah.
Bo Bradbury comes in, completes a couple of big passes for you.
Both of them to Mike Espy. Billy, let me tell you something that folks overlook. They don't think, nobody thought much about that, but you know, your backup quarterback comes in, he's a 10th grader. And your backup quarterback comes in and he's not ready. Nobody's is. Nobody's backup's ready. Mine always was because he started somewhere else. If my backup quarterback can't play somewhere else and start as a 10th or 11th grader, I need another backup quarterback. He ain't very good, is he? Or he'd be playing. Bo started at linebacker. Bo started at outside linebacker. Was a good one. And could play.
Didn't mind contact.
Had quarterbacked all through junior high, took snaps every day in practice, but he was the outside linebacker. Started. Played every week, 14 games there. So when Bo flipped over to quarterback, no big deal. Didn't think about it.
He was already in the game.
Yeah,
already
starting.
getting
playing.
hit.
Yeah. Done played 3.5 quarters, 3 1/3. He got, JJ went down early in the 3rd quarter. Bo had done play. I mean, yeah. Played all year.
But you threw it and successfully.
Yeah.
Then you get to the state championship game. Provine is loaded.
Yeah. They're tough.
Charlie Anderson was on that
Anderson.
team.
Had a great running back. Can't remember his name right now. He was a real good one.
And the stats show that Madison Central did not attempt a pass that night.
Those are correct stats.
And that had to be tempting to throw because you had a guy named Mike Espy on the outside.
yeah.
But discipline-wise, you disciplined yourself to know that you could probably run the ball and win the game.
Mike Espy was the best blocking wide out I ever saw, ever, in 35 years. Nobody stalk blocked, and Mike wasn't a killer. He wasn't a ferocious guy. He was fast, he was mentally tough, built good, strong, and he stalk blocked with perfection.
But how much discipline did it take for you to say we're going to run the football, we're going to play defense, and we're going to win? Because you had thrown it successfully the week before.
Never entered my mind. Billy, the only thing enters my mind from the kickoff to the last buzzer is to win the game. There ain't no other thought. There's no, well, if we throw it 30 times, if we can just hit 20 of them, I don't even think about stuff like that. Or if we can run the ball 45 times and get 310 yards, we'll win. I never thought about stuff like that. I thought about playing one play at a time.
Did you ever have a script like the first 10 plays?
Not really. I run patterns. I run sets and running plays and passing plays off sets, turning them backwards, inside out, resetting them, right, left. You see the same play out of a different set. It don't look like the same play. And that's...
How big a night was that for Madison Central
night.
when y'all won?
I thought it was big. You know, we needed a state championship in football here, I thought. Not because I coached it, but in the 6A league, in the biggest league, whatever A's they go to, in the big boy football, there ain't been a whole lot of different ones.
That's right.
There just ain't been many.
That's right.
There ain't many accidents. There ain't many people just, oh, look at this, they won it. Didn't see that coming.
Well, from the outside, I think it definitely gave Madison Central a different look. I think it put them on the map, you know,
Yeah.
with everybody else.
Well, see, academically, arts, academics, entertainment, whatever you want to call it, at school, band included with chorus and all those things, Madison Central is something. It is a bell cow for the state in those things. National merits, good Lord, they lead the state. Now, throw a football state championship in with that. There ain't many people done that.
That's right.
That don't happen real
That's right.
often.
I don't know if you remember this, but one night, it was probably in the mid-90s, maybe 96, 97, you and I ran into each other at North Park Mall. Our wives were shopping.
I remember
and we sat on a bench out there and talked football.
Yeah.
Your football philosophy.
Yeah.
And when I got up from that bench, I felt like I'd been in a master class. And I watched football ever since differently because your philosophy made so much sense. I wish you'd share that with people.
Well, it goes back to the fundamental thinking on that the point of a football game is to win the game. My practice sessions were based on fundamentals and situations. If the fundamental didn't fit the game and the situation didn't fit the game, we were wasting time. I mean, what are you practicing for? You practice for the game. Everything I ever did, fundamentally and situation, which that was my two things. Fundamentals, gotta have them. Gotta have them. And then situations, which that's what's gonna happen in the game. That's exactly what's gonna happen. If you hadn't practiced a situation, you won't do it very well.
And I remember you saying, because you're going to play defense,
Yeah.
and you're going to run the football,
Yeah.
and you're going to be probably a tougher team mentally
We'll be tougher in practice.
than most opponents.
Yes.
You're going to outlast them.
Yeah.
You're going to outgrit them.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me, I'm not going to have a guy fair catch the ball on the 20-yard line.
No.
He said, you said, I don't care if I get the ball to 20 or the 10. What difference does it
What
make?
difference does it make? How many times have you sat there on Sunday, it happens in the pros, but not much, but college football, they'll drop one.
A lot.
A lot. I did that. I think what led me to that thing was as a high school and junior college player, and at Chattanooga went up there, I was defensive back and a kick returner. And I've stood back there and watched that thing coming down many a time. Billy, people never have done that, really don't know what that looks like.
It's an art to catch it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else. Unless you're completely stupid, you know they're coming. And you can actually hear them. Now, you're gonna catch that ball, you better be careful. Because if you ever take your eyes off of it, you'll miss it. It'll drop, it'll go right, shoot through you.
Well,
So I had a fear of that.
people need to know. We'll be full disclosure. You and I sort of have a running deal about, well, what stupid thing did you see this
What'd
weekend
you see
while
this
watching
week?
TV?
Billy, what'd you see? You wouldn't believe what I
And
saw.
there's usually a real wing
The
dinger.
one I like best, even better than the punt and returning, is a team scores with 10 seconds left in the half. And they kick off. It's a close game. Team gets the ball on 25, and they run a play. A running play
The only bad thing that could happen
is a
to
fumble.
'em.
The only way not to go in at halftime with whatever the score is, you weren't even attempting to score. Did you think that guy was going to go 75 when you hadn't got 50 yards rushing the whole first half?
Now,
I'm
what
amazed
about,
at that.
What about the victory formation from the shotgun?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a fan of that?
No. But I can see the point. I mean,
What explain to me, because I can't.
the shotgun's a part of the game now. The spread. Don't call it a shotgun. These new guys just get, if you call it a shotgun, they just get all fidgety. Because now you're telling them, this ain't no new thing, boys. That's been around forever. Oh, boy, they don't want to hear that. They think they invented football. So we're going to run the spread. Well, you're just in a shotgun with a bunch of wideouts, bub. That's all you're doing. But,
If you were in football today, and as many teams that are just wide open, they spread and all that kind of stuff, would you run it?
bad as I hate to admit this, my last years at Gulfport, I should have gone to a one back. First of all, it's hard to have two good ones. And so I had the Floyd brothers. One of them played at Missouri, one at Jackson State. I
Right.
had both of them down there. Ricky's boy, Ricky Floyd's boy.
Mhm.
And they could play. And I had another kid that played at Missouri. I mean, I had 3 college D1 wideouts while I was there. And they played 3 years. I mean, 3 of my 5 years was them.
Right.
And I threw it a good bit down there. Threw it more than I ever have. But that's 20, 25 max. Whereas I should have developed a little bit different running aspect. Stay with what I do, but do more zone blocking. More that type blocking
Right.
instead of the doubling, kicking, and running hard up in there and grinding. So you can't throw the ball 35 times and grind both.
Well, Alabama is a prime example. They throw the ball now.
Yeah,
They spread
And
it
they
around
grind.
and wing it, but they're gonna run the football.
they're going to run football. And they have another little thing they do pretty good too. It's called playing defense.
That's right. Always.
Yeah. They're not scared to death to give you the ball at midfield. It don't terrify them.
And they always seem to. They'll lose somebody and they plug another guy in, and it's more to it than that. He's football game ready.
Yeah.
That goes back to preparation, I would think, like you were
Yes,
talking about with both.
Yes. Like I told you earlier in the interview, the mediocre coaches have convinced themselves that Saban is just talented. They just got all them players. If I had them, I'd win too. No, you wouldn't. He'd take yours and beat his. Is what he'd do. That's an old statement in football. He can take his and beat yours, or he can take yours and beat his. And it don't matter which team he's got, he's going to beat you.
Yeah.
He'll take yours or his. It don't matter. Because these guys prepare. They work. They never leave it. Listen, Billy, the time I put in, if I have a regret in coaching football, it's neglecting my family to sit in these field houses and watch films to my eye. I've gone to sleep watching it and the thing be flipping back in the old days. I didn't have to do that. That was too much. But I had a thought process. If I put more time in than you do, I will beat you. I believe that. I don't know that that's true.
Did you
Quality
fear
time.
losing?
God, yeah. Yeah. I had a fear of hauling pulpwood. That's what I grew up doing. I wasn't going back to that, Jack.
So you needed to win.
You better bow up if you're going to beat me, because I don't know where you going, but I ain't going back. I'm going forward.
That's hard work.
You better believe it. I didn't want to do it. Now, I'm exaggerating. I was never going to do that. I didn't want to do 10 years of coaching and then sink back into a history job and sit around peeved off and grumbling and griping because I never got the break they got.
Right.
I never got the good teams like he did.
Right.
I wasn't going to do that.
Now you obviously, you could have gone to the next level in college, been successful.
Had a couple of opportunities, yes.
Why did you not?
I just didn't see myself as a position coach. I've been a head coach from day one. Never been nothing else. And I wasn't comfortable being a position coach. And then I had a little bit of a fear that they might look at me as the little high school coach. You spot the ball and keep some towels around and get out of the way. Big boys do the coaching.
That wouldn't work.
No. I wouldn't have lasted long doing that. And I felt it. I felt that. It might not have happened. I could have got treated royally. Both head coaches I talked to were friends of mine that I think would have treated me real well. Both of them friends. Good men.
And good schools.
Good schools.
Yeah.
Just wasn't comfortable.
How much is it easier when you get into mid-season, you know who your players are, you kind of get an identity to a team, and sometimes that may be made too much of an identity.
No, it's not.
But I do believe a team takes that on. Do you?
Yeah. Your team has to take on a personality. I didn't always get it, Billy. I wanted my team to have the personality of, we're going to beat you till you bleed. And then right when you think we're going to let up and get off you just a little, we're going to come a little harder till you just can't do it. Till you just say, enough. I don't want to do this.
And that's not running up the score.
Oh, got nothing to do with the score. Got nothing to do with hurting nobody. We're not trying to hurt nobody. I was clean. I ain't never tried to hurt another player. Billy, every school I've been in, every one of them, we had a game or two where it was just down dirty. I mean, it was tough. You had to want to be there, and you had to want to play that kind of football, or you couldn't take it. We played Starkville when I was at Louisville. Willis was at Starkville then in '84. They were number 1 state, we were number 3. 4th game of the season. We go up to Starkville and play them. They got David Fair and Carrero. They had 6 D1s, we had 5. Sangster and Taylor, who I had, Tim's brothers. Whoo. Nothing to nothing. And you didn't have to play ties off back then, especially non-district. Nobody did much then. If it's non-district, had 2 districts. Nothing to nothing. And there was just blood on the field. It was the awfulest thing you've ever seen. Because they didn't particularly like one another. Starkville and Louisville has never liked one another.
Too close.
Yeah.
Too close.
I'm telling you now, it was that's the number 1 game I ever was involved in where it was brutal.
Really?
Yes. Brutal.
How'd you do next week?
Well, we both just went back out and done the same thing, and the people we played couldn't do that. They couldn't do that. No.
Oh my gosh. People may not realize this, but you're a really good golfer.
Well,
and I'm
a good club player.
Well, you're about to, I believe, you're about to participate in the senior state anthem.
Yeah, got it coming up at Lake Caroline, one of Randy's courses.
What do you love about golf?
I like the competitiveness of it. It's a camaraderie thing. I'm a club player. I care about a 2 to a 2.5 handicap. I mean, I can play.
Gracious.
But that's on a club level. Look, I'm friends with Randy Watkins, who's got these golf courses and best deal in the world. And Randy's got Lake Caroline and all that, and Whisper Lake, and he sets up all these tournaments and things for us. And Randy's helpful too. He'll help you with your swing. He's got pros that help you. But by being around Randy since 1993, I got a chance to know Willie Wood, Mark Brooks, Brad Faxon, Jim Gallagher, Paul Azinger. I know those guys through
major winners.
They're Randy's best friends. He came on tour with them. He played cottage golf against them, Willie Wood and them. And I've watched them. I've played with them. No. That's called professional. You don't touch it. And these boys at these clubs that think they can play, these amateurs that are tried to play on some mini tour somewhere, that really believe if I just had the time, I could. No, brother.
Not gonna work.
It ain't. You can't do that. It's called professional.
Well, we wish you luck in the.
Well, I want to do good. I'm at the wrong end. Let me tell you what though. I turned 70 in January, and I moved into the Grand Master. And the 70s is the oldest. It's 70 to up.
Well, you're gonna be like Mickelson in the
Yeah,
champion.
that's fully what I
There you
intend
go.
to do. Now I played in the super senior, stay down. There's 40, 50, whatever number plays in it every year. I've been in the top 10 3 times, statewide.
That's awesome.
And led it twice. And I'm trying to think of the words you use when you're leading something the last day. Choke. I choked because I don't have the experience. Ricky Sims up at Canton, guys like that, they're real good players.
You didn't start playing competitive golf at 5 years old like Willie Wood.
No, I was 61 or 2 when I
There you
started
go.
playing
There you
competitive
go.
golf. Willie started when he was 5.
One last thing, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Just for the football coaches out there, the young ones, if you got any advice for them, what would it be?
Try to get your program into a system. Don't random. Your players, if you random coach, random offense, random defense, random rules, random regulations, that's what your players gonna look like, random. That's all they can look like. They're not sure what's going on. They're not sure about the rules. They're not sure about the regulations. They're not sure about the offense or they're unsure. Now, most 15, 16, 17, up to 18-year-old young men, like we all were their life, when we're unsure, we're bad to look around and do nothing. Because don't know what to do. Not sure what to do. And nobody wants to look or be thought of as stupid or foolish. Nobody.
So be consistent. with it.
Yes. I didn't have any rules. I never wrote a bunch of rules down. I just made them up as I went. But they were based on right and wrong as a society sees it. School rules. I went by the school's rules because they're good. Schools have good rules. I'm going to tell this once, and I shouldn't tell it. This is what happened one time. And I'm ashamed of this, but I've got to tell it to somebody other than my buddies. I'm in that field house right there in 1995 or 6. We're undefeated. I got a great nose guard. And he wasn't the very best of guys when it come to a few things. But I loved him. Had a young coach who went on and won a state championship. Won't say who it is. He went on and won a state championship after he left here as assistant. First year head coach, first year assistant, 23 years old. He come bouncing in my office right before we went out. We done warmed up, done come in. It was 10 minutes, 15 minutes till 7.
Game night.
Game night. Ted Taylor and I sitting there, assistant, one of my best friends in life and great assistant defensive coordinator. He said, Coach, we got problems. This little young coach. Coach, we got problems. I went, what? Problems? What? He said, I just walked out back behind a corner, caught, I won't say who, smoking. I went, what's the problem? I said, get back in there and players and don't be walking out there. You won't, that ain't a bad spot. I'm ashamed of that.
Did you have a talk with the kid on Monday?
Yeah. Let me tell you, you're going to talk to a kid that's 18 years old that smokes. Don't smoke around the team. Don't
right.
carry them on you.
That's right.
Get away from us. Come on. He's a grown man. You know, I've always been ashamed of that, but that's exactly how it happened.
That's why I love you, Coach. You're an open book.
Well,
And
you know,
that's
why not?
Look, thank you so much for what you've done for Mississippi football. Incredible record, and so many. You've helped so many coaches go on with their careers.
Well, it
And-
works both ways, Billy. Orley Hood, great friend of ours. Rick now, you, old Bill Spencer. There's some guys out there that sports people that were reporters and sports guys, journalists. I don't think a lot of folks wouldn't know much about us if it wasn't for y'all, and we appreciate that. All of us, we talk about that.
Thank you.
We think a lot of y'all
Thank
because we wouldn't have a lot of People wouldn't know us as well as they do without you guys, and we appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that. Coach, can't thank you enough for enduring this. I know you could be playing golf right now.
Oh, I don't go off to one.
There you go. And kind of warm out here, but we really appreciate you being part of this, and just can't thank you enough. Hope you
Sure,
enjoyed
I've
it.
enjoyed it.
All
Thank
right.
you, Billy.
Thanks, Coach.